Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you happen to be, you are taking in this incredible energy. Oh my God. If you don't feel it yet, you're gonna really soon. Trust me, it's big. My son and I had a conversation about it today. This energy is, I'm shaking. It's like I'm constantly vibrating with it. And it hasn't stopped. It hasn't let up for about 4 days. Maybe 5. I can't remember. But as I get deeper and deeper into this energy, what I'm discovering is that I'm feeling better and better overall. And even though there's been some stress happening in the past couple of days, overall I'm not as affected by it. A little bit, the past couple hours, a little bit. But you just take a deep breath. And most of it goes away. Another deep breath. 75% of what remained goes away. What were we worried about again? After the third breath, I don't know. I gotta tell you guys something. My kid and I were having this conversation about what is this energy? What does it sound? What does it feel like? I'm like, I just feel crazy. I feel weird. And he's like, I know, I do too. We feel like strange. Like every cell is vibrating, like every nerve is firing at once. And it hasn't let up in 5 whole days. My son says he feels like the center of the universe is like a giant gong. And somebody beat it with that giant mallet thing that they beat a gong with. I don't know what it's called. Gong beater? I don't know. And it's been reverberating like throughout the whole universe. And this energy, this vibration is vibrating each individual cell as if they don't exist in a body, but that they're individuals. That's how I feel. That I can feel every individual cell in my body, and they're all vibrating as if a giant cosmic gong has been bonged. It sounds crazy, guys. I don't know how else to explain it. I tried yesterday for days. I've been trying to explain these feelings I'm having so that if you're not going through it yet, when you get there, you're going to go, oh yeah, I know what she means now. And some of you were already there before me. Some of you are like, yep, You're nodding your head. You're going, oh yeah. Yeah, that happened for me too. I know it. I just feel it. This is like we're all on the same path. We're like all in a big, grand cosmic line, like the cosmic Disneyland, and we're on the way. Some of us have been on the ride. Some of us have gotten off the ride, and we're like way far deep into the 5th dimension, and some of us we just arrived to the park. Some of us don't even know we want to go to the park yet. But my son was like, yeah, it's like there's like this reverberation, like there's been a gong, like the sound, and it's so loud, and it's so loud, and yet we can't hear it. And like my body is vibrating so much, it feels like it's floating. That's my son and I both were talking about that. We both kind of feel like we're floating above our body, and we also have a feeling of like almost like, yeah, I kind of know that my body has some pain. I don't feel it though. I don't feel it at all. I'm risen above it. I'm risen above my body. And I don't feel what's going on in my body. Now, I don't know how to heal my body yet. Like if I was Jesus, I would have been able to already heal my body and wouldn't have had the pain in the first place. So it's not like you hop into the fifth dimension and suddenly I know everything, because you don't, because I don't. I mean, maybe you would, I don't know. I know for a fact I don't. But I did something, a couple things happened. First of all, during the channeling yesterday, there had been something that had been on my mind that I was going to mention today about my cousin deleting me when I started mentioning spiritual stuff, like the deeper metaphysical spiritual stuff. Like, she liked one of my posts, which was just said, believe in yourself. It was no big deal. I think that was the one. I put 2 or 3 out that were very mild, very, very just for beginners, and for all of us, the older veterans at the metaphysical thing that just need a reminder. I need a reminder to believe in myself. So I thought, hey, so do you, and so does everyone. And just breathe was one of my reminders. Just breathe. I need that one all the time. As an asthmatic and an uptight, overwhelmed Virgo, always I need that one. But honestly, I was shocked that she liked anything of mine. She very rarely likes my posts, once in a great while. And that's okay. She doesn't have to like my posts at all. She doesn't even have to be my friend on any social media. No one does, right? But I was grateful that she was, because she was somebody who I loved very much, and we grew up together, and she doesn't remember that. So she doesn't have the emotional bond to me that I do to her. Or did, I guess, back in the day. And it's funny that I wasn't going to mention it, and then I was going to put off a day, and then maybe mention it, and then I wasn't sure. And then Michael said, you need to bring this up. Okay, fine. Because it really happened the way I said. And I was sitting here, I was getting ready for bed, and I was sitting on the edge of my bed, and I think I was like taking my shoes off, and I was maybe taking my magnesium and turning off my light, and just in the boring things I was doing, I heard her, and it sounded like she was on the phone. And she was complaining to a girlfriend or something about me, and she was talking bad about me. And who does she think she is? She thinks she's so spiritual, and just all this stuff. But the thing is, she hasn't talked to me in 20 years, People do change. And it's hard for us to see somebody and then 20 years later see them again and not imagine that they're still the same person they were 20 years ago. I mean, it's human nature, right? So I don't blame her for whatever. I don't care, honestly. Her opinion, it's her business. But it kind of made me laugh, because I could hear her talking about me. It made me laugh because I heard her as if I was sitting in the room. I was like, oh my God, yeah, living in the fifth dimension, when people talk about you, you're going to hear what they say. This is crazy. And I was just tuned into her, because I was like, I can't believe she deleted me right after I put maybe 3 or 4 postings, and one of them got a little deep. And she's a spiritual person too, but so I don't know, she was just jealous, or she was mad, or I don't know what happened. So anyway, I went ahead and I did the show, and then, you guys know, whoever listened to it knows what I said during the show, and it wasn't that big of a deal, I was just like, well, yeah, shit happens, whatever. So today, I got a notification on first thing in the morning. I got several notifications, 9 people added me on Instagram. I'm like, I'm finally understanding how this thing works, right? So yay. And for all of those of you who added me and now are listening to the show, thank you, by the way. Welcome aboard. I'm glad to have you. And if you want to know what the show's about, I think yesterday or the day before I gave an explanation on who I am, what do I do. I'm not some random spiritual person who decided I was spiritual a week ago because I want something to do. I've been on the path for my entire life. I'm 51, and I've been consciously aware that the ascension was going to happen since 1987. So I'm kind of an old veteran at some of this. Not saying I'm super spiritually advanced. I don't know if I am any more than anyone else. I doubt it, but I do know a thing or two. And plus, I've also studied in mystery schools as well. It wasn't just I meditated and never did reading. I mean, I've read hundreds of books over the years. But Anyway, so welcome aboard if you are new. But anyway, so I got up I looked on my notices, and I thought, well, it's time to do another post, and I want to keep this going. I want to keep this dialogue going, and I'm starting to get some really nice energy exchanges between people. Really amazing. People are doing readings about twin flames, and one of them was extremely accurate, and I was like, oh my God, you're amazing. So it's like I'm starting to really interact with people in a positive way in the spiritual community. It made me really happy about that. And all of a sudden, here's my cousin on my feed. I'm like, whoa. Because all of a sudden, her stuff was not on my feed yesterday when it looked like she just deleted me. And she deleted me from her feed, right? Like suddenly I couldn't even see her. I couldn't even remember what her name was on there. It was weird. So all of a sudden here she is. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And the picture of her, I kind of think it's her now, but it also looked like her when she was 20, and it made me cry because that's the sweet, beautiful young woman I remember her to be, right? And it made me cry, and I was like, I love her so much. I don't like that weird blockage she put between us. I don't like it, but I don't accept it from my end. I accept that she can decide for herself to love me or not, to know me or not, to be part of my life, however minuscule or not. And so I started sending her a lot of love and light. And 10 minutes later, she put another one. I guess she has, I think she has coronavirus. She's sick. I think she said she has coronavirus. So I got, of course, upset. Even if she's not with the coronavirus particular, I got worried. She's sick. She's in Washington. More people have died in Washington than anywhere else. So I started crying about it, and I asked God to forgive me for anything that I hurt her in the past, and to forgive her and to just send her extra love and healing, because I want her to feel better, obviously. So then I started realizing, holy crap, I hopped a timeline, because I looked and she did not delete herself from my timeline. Suddenly she's there. All of a sudden she's there again. And not only is her feed on my feed, because I didn't delete myself from her feed, but she's back on mine. I'm like, this is freaking weird. And I started asking, did she accidentally delete me yesterday? But I heard her talking about me, right? And God said, no, I hopped a timeline. And then tonight I asked, and God's like, actually, you've hopped 2 timelines since then. That's what happened. Holy crap. How much of a difference a day can make in a moment can make it. I sent all this love and compassion to her, and I hopped a timeline. I mean, even last night after I got done with the show, I sent her love and compassion and just energy, and I asked that she wake up. Please, God, let her wake up, because she's so smart. She's so spiritual. She can actually go really far spiritually if she chose to. I don't even know if she's choosing to or not. It sounds like she might be, though. She's having a lot of personal growth moments, in her feed when I have seen her feed. So I'm like, well, hell's bells. I'm so happy, because so am I. I'm having personal growth moments too. And so she, like 2 or 3 hours go by. She put something else on her feed, and there's her horse. She said, I finally got out today. I feel better. It felt good to stand in the sunshine. And I knew that was a sign that my love somehow clearly got to her. Whether she knew it was from me or not, I don't know. Doesn't matter. My healing energy I sent her through the Reiki and crystalline healing grid. She got it. She got it. So I want to share that with you guys, because once you're in the 5th dimension, your energy flows so much easier to people when you give them love. And I'm at this weepy, emotional state, because where I'm going in every moment, moving forward, I feel more and more and more and more and more and more love. In every moment, in every passing moment, it's more than it was a minute ago. And it's been this way for 5 days, you guys. It's just like, it's like diving into the world's largest marshmallow. It's soft and it's fuzzy, it's warm, it smells like vanilla, it's amazing. And it's just pure love. And that's where it is. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. It's where we're headed. It's where we came from. And that's what I'm experiencing. And my son also said that he's experiencing a constant energy of pure, blissful love. He went free running today. He hasn't done that in years. And he just was like, I felt like it. I felt so good. And he's like, I'm just going to eat plants from now on, Mom. I don't even want to eat meat. That's it. I'm going to be a vegan as much as I can be. Of course, we ate it. The other day we had, we had chips with some cheese on it. So that wasn't really vegan. And, but we haven't had, we've had like dairy, but we haven't had, it's been like 3 days without meat, I guess now. We saw The Game Changers on Netflix, and we thought, well, we'll try it. We'll try it for a week and see how we feel. And we might add back in fish or shrimp and see how we feel. And then we'll go back to vegetarian or vegan, see how we feel. We're going to try to. So we decided for like a week, let's just try it. 10 days maybe. We eat nothing but plants. So we've been just eating like plums and bananas and walnuts and so with this energy, this pouring out of love over us, it's just like washing over us. And the only other way that I could think of it, it's almost like, I don't even know how to explain it. Not like rain, because rain is gentle. Even when rain is hard, it's gentle compared to this. And even though this energy it's overwhelming love. We're being overwhelmed by love. And I guess if you've ever been through a car wash, now if you're in a place where you've never seen a car wash and you've never washed your car in one of those machines that wash your car, where you drive through and all of the water comes pouring down on your car and you get to watch it, it's really fun and weird. And like the scrubbing things, scrub your car with all of the like they're not sponges, I guess they're like mops, car mops, and your car gets like all soapy, and then it gets rinsed off, and then it gets like soapy again, it gets rinsed off again, and then it gets like the hot wax, and it's like super hot, and it's just like tons of pressure is being put on your car in that moment. You're inside your car going along like you're driving through it, right? You're just like going along, and it's like really crazy. It's one of my favorite weird experiences to have. And in a way, that's what I feel like right now. I feel like the fifth dimension is like the grand cosmic car wash, and we're the cars. And we're being scrubbed, like scrubbing bubbles inside and outside and through all of our energy fields. We're just being scrubbed. And what we're being scrubbed with, instead of water and mops and hot wax and soap, is just love. Love, 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 love. It's a pure blissful energy. And so there's that. And then the other description my son and I were talking about, I said, I feel like I'm a giant, fluffy, red-headed cat sitting in the lap of God, and he's petting me over and over and over again with his strong, godly hand, right, on my fur. And as he's doing this, I'm purring, and as I'm purring, the vibration of the purr is just purring all across the whole universe. That's the other description I came up with. It's just like, and it's like reverberating in my ears. The tinnitus is like this giant, grand, cosmic kitty cat purr. Very high pitched. But it's just, and I keep getting this hot energy just flowing, like the 0 point. It's what it is, it's 0 point energy flowing in each individual cell. It's flowing in and flowing out, and it's just like taking with it all of the stuff. Now, I noticed like 2 days ago, no, it was yesterday, when I took a shower, when I touched my skin, the quality of my skin has gone up. It sounds weird, but like the way, like to touch my skin, it felt like my skin is like a little bit more, I don't know what to say, flexible or less flexible. Like I have more collagen in underneath the surface of my skin, and I feel like I'm in my 20s, late 20s again. Like my skin is becoming younger, more youthful. My body is going back in time, which it already was. I mean, my hair is starting to come back and all, so I'm becoming younger again, which thank God for that. And it's something that's going to happen to all of you too. Especially if you're over the age of 30, you're going to go back to, like 25. If you're over 35, you'll go back to 29. Like almost right away. Because when your chakras start spinning, and keep working with your chakras, make sure they're all spinning the right way, same direction. Himalayan 5 rites, or the Tibetan 5 rites, RITES. Look it up, do the exercises, do them every day. If you're 60, give it about 6 to 8 weeks and you will look about 29 again. You won't look a day over 30 to 32 if you do this for 2 months every day. They've done this on thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people now have done this and have discovered this to be the absolute truth. In fact, a lot of women in their late 60s to early 70s ended up getting their period again after like 3 or 4 months of doing the exercises, because everything went back to the way it was when they were in their late 20s to early 30s. So yeah, so that's, I don't know, it's the only way I could describe it, you guys. This is the only way I could tell you what is going on with me. And it's just like this overwhelming love. It's like I'm swimming in a soup of love. And as I'm going through this more and more in every moment, I feel more and more love. And as I feel more and more love, I feel less and less my body. I don't even feel my body that much. If I focus on it for a second, I can feel it. I can go, oh yeah, my pain has body, my poor body. I love my body. Let's send love to my body. And if I lay down and I send love to parts of my body, my spine will go back into place. Like do-it-yourself chiropractic, but I'm doing it with my mind. So all of a sudden, I can relax all my muscles. I tell my bones go back into place. I do a quick little stretch and crack, crack, crack all the way up. Just don't need a chiropractor. Just that's what's been going on. I mean, full disclosure, I did for years go to a chiropractor, so my joints are a little bit loose and it's easier to put things back into place once they've been adjusted enough times. But things are changing, man. It's different. This is different. All right, I'm going to get right into the space weather news and tell you guys some wild ass shit that's going down. Something that went down in San Francisco. This is going to blow your mind. I'm going to tell you about this in a second. So I had to pause that because my arrabbiato al fresco salsa italiano was starting to run out of water. I'm making a really nice arrabbiata sauce. It means angry sauce. It's angry because it's full of hot ají peppers. I put fresh garlic and onions and all kinds of spices. The spices I don't have, they're dry, they're not fresh, but everything else is. It's a bunch of red stuff, fiery red peppers and spicy red peppers and tomatoes, and it looks amazing and smells really good. So I'm making that for dinner tonight, and keeping with the vegan thing, I've got these noodles that don't have any eggs in them, and my son's like, I'm not going to have it if it has eggs. I'm like, it doesn't, trust me. I checked, but I had to check again, and they don't, so at least we could have pasta. Even though I don't really want wheat, I'm gonna try this plant thing for about a week and see what happens again. Haven't had the best luck with plant diets in the past, but hey, I'm in a different dimension now. My body's changed quite a bit. So we're getting there. All right, so, man, spaceweather.com has some wild stuff today. We'll start real quick with the solar wind speed. It's picked up since yesterday. We're at 360.4 kilometers per second. Still slow for the actual sun itself. That's relatively slow. We are on day 2 of no sunspots. Let's see. We're still under a solar minimum. Very high cosmic radiation coming down. So lots of neutrons in the air, according to Oulu, Finland. Our all-sky cameras that NASA uses to scan the skies above the United States have detected 4 fireballs today. And let's see. We also, by the way, have just been, we had the solar wind had been flowing. And yesterday and today, all day long, I felt it. But I don't know if I'm feeling that. Am I feeling the radiation? Is this not the 5th dimension? Is just radiation? Are we being slowly nuked? Are we in the grand cosmic microwave? I don't know what's happening, but I do know I'm feeling all kinds of crazy energy. But there are no deep coronal holes on the Earth side of the sun right now, so that means we're not really going to have... There is a little bit of a white light on the sun, and that reminds me of something I needed to tell you guys too. Yeah, this white light in the sun, it's not at all a sunspot. I don't know what it is. I'm looking at this picture. We'll see tomorrow if it starts to formulate something. They'll mention it if something comes of it. But let's see. Of course, we're in the cold thermosphere still. The solar flare reporting is offline because they're switching to NOAA's new GO-16 satellite, so we don't have any news on that. Not that we ever really did, huh? I haven't even done that part of the show. Haven't done that for the show yet. All right. Before we get into this really wild stuff of space weather. Okay, so yesterday when I was channeling Michael Sherhan, at one point, usually I keep my eyes closed. Sometimes my eyes are open, but if I really need to hear something or try to understand it from a different angle, I'll close my eyes so I could use my internal map and my internal eyesight to see what he's telling me. So I looked up in my room during this channeling, and I saw 3 bright white lights in my room standing next to each other. They looked like little saucers. For lack of a better word, they're like little saucers, saucer-shaped white lights, bright white lights. And my own light in my bedroom overhead doesn't even work, so, there's like no lights in here except my little nightstand one, which is just a kind of pale yellow, very soft light. But these were bright white lights. And I realized there were 3 other people in the room here with him. It was Mira and 2 other people that work for Ashtar Command. And all I could see were the lights. I felt him touch me on my hand, but no one else touched me, and I didn't see him. I didn't even see his light, but I saw theirs. And I asked later after I finished and published the show, they were still here. And I'm like, okay, so were you guys testing me? And they said yes. And at least that part of the test I passed, because I felt a soft sort of comfort and love that they were here. It was, thank God my family's come back sort of feeling. And I'm not originally Pleiadian, but I have lived in the Pleiades, and I feel very comfortable with these people. They've got terrific energy. So that happened. It happened. But I know if they had shown up physically suddenly out of nowhere, I might have freaked out. If they showed up really close to me, I might have punched them or pushed them, shoved them to get away, like it would scare me. Like, I don't know what my initial reaction would be, but they will start testing us. If you want them to test you, they will test you. You can ask. Ask for your Pleiadian ascension partner to come and help you ascend farther and farther. During my quick little break when I paused the audio here, I asked God about How many of you listening to the show are already in the fifth dimension? The answer was 55%. Good chance that you're there if you think that you've already crossed that threshold and you feel weird and you don't feel like you have in a long time, but you feel better somehow, but it's still kind of that unstable, weird energy. Or maybe you're farther along than I am, but 55% of you are already there. You're already in the fifth, honey. Thank God for that, right? It's like, but it's going to be slow and it's going to, but when Michael was telling me yesterday and telling us all, saying it's going to gradually change, the fifth dimension around us will gradually change and things will happen. And, if it all happened at once, it'd be like this wild psychedelic trip. But since it's going to be so slow and gradual, we're going to get used to little things at a time. And when he was telling me that is when those 3 lights appeared in my room. And I was okay with that. And I told you guys last week that I saw a dragon outside and then it disappeared. And it was just there for a split second. And I thought, well, that was crazy. Was that an acid flashback or what? I don't know. And then 2 days later, my son saw it. He was like, whoa. And I'm like, what? He goes, oh, yeah, nothing. It's nothing. And I'm like, what happened? And he said, well, there was like this big black dragon and then all of a sudden it was gone. So I'm just questioning my sanity right now. And what the hell? And I'm like, well, I saw it a couple days ago. So if I saw it, didn't say anything, and then he saw it, and he did say something, and then I'm like, well, I saw that too, and I saw it, and I'm like, and I could prove it to you. It's on my show a couple days ago. I mentioned it to you guys, So he's like, all right. So we're not crazy, and we both saw something, and it's really there, and we're also in the fifth dimension now. We're starting to venture in farther. As we venture in farther and farther, we're going to start seeing stuff. Be prepared. All right, on spaceweather.com, I want to read this little bit because you guys might enjoy this. Auroras love equinoxes. The northern vernal, which means spring, equinox is only 1 week away. That's good news for Arctic sky watchers because auroras love equinoxes. Researchers call it the Russell-McFerrin effect. At this time of year, cracks form in the Earth's magnetic field, allowing solar wind to enter in. Even a weak stream of solar wind can spark a good display around the poles, so happy spring. And they do have aurora borealis alerts. They will send you a text message. Now, that's not going to do you much good unless you live in the Arctic or unless you have access to YouTube like everybody does, and you could go look at the live stream of the aurora borealis. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm super interested. I always listen to Jonna Jinton. God bless her. I love her so much. She calls the auroras and they come. It's crazy. She calls cows. She calls animals. She's a witch. She's a white witch. She's a white witch of the north. And she's incredible. So I highly recommend her channel on YouTube. But anyway, so there's that. So the aurora thing. So now sunset mirage. Now this was very crazy. This week, Mila Zinkova looked out over the ocean and saw a familiar sight. The statue of Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Which is strange. Because she was standing almost 7,000 miles away in San Francisco. In California. It was a mirage, says Zinkova. If you scroll past her photo for an explanation, and then I'm doing that now, this is actually the Farallon Islands Lighthouse west of San Francisco, says Zinkova, because it was shape-shifted by the Fata Morgana. Fata Morgana. The Fata Morgana is a type of sunset mirage. It's produced by strong temperature inversions. A layer of unusually cold air hanging just above the sea surface is key. Light passing through this layer can be distorted and stretched in fantastical ways. It causes ghost ships to appear to float in midair. It turns the full moon into a rectangular block. and it raises false walls of water. Now, in this case, the mirage turned a California lighthouse into a Brazilian statue. That's not all, says Zinkova. Evidently, Fata Morgana was not satisfied with this design because she kept changing it all the time as shown in this video. Then a second sun exploded in the same atmospheric duct, and at one point it was rectangular. So you guys, I'm telling you right now, go to spaceweather.com. When you're done listening to the show, don't forget this, go to spaceweather.com and click on where it says the words "this video" under this beautiful sunny golden orangey red sky. It looks like Christ the Redeemer. I watched this. It's like a 5-minute video she took, and I mean, it looks like a cross, then the Christ the Redeemer statue, then it turns into a tree, then it turns into an umbrella, then there's like a bunch of lights on it. It looks like a telephone pole. It looks like a Christmas tree at one point. It's insane. I've never seen the Fata Morgana. I've heard about it years and years ago. I think from Pirates of the Caribbean, actually. Years ago I heard about this. It's like an optical illusion that happens out at sea. But in this case, you guys got to see it. This is like wild stuff. Really cool. I love when, I mean, it's almost like something that if you saw this, it's almost like you're like, it's got to be a miracle. It's got to be a sign. It might be a sign for you. If it's something you've been wondering or thinking, worrying about, and then you see this in one of the shapes, it shifts into a shape that you've been thinking about, it might be a sign for you. So I'm just going to tell you, go look at this. All right. So disclosurenews.it, 9 o'clock in the morning, they said March 12th is a special day. We would have liked to make a prediction. In any case, the activity had a small surge in yesterday's UTC evening event between 19 and 22, with variations in amplitude that reached power 20. These were followed by relative calm until 6 a.m. UTC, when we had an isolated peak of power 24. At 7 UTC, the strongest activity so far began and brought amplitude to power 57 between 8 and 8:30 UTC. The ECC for this peak turns out to be 90. So that's pretty cool. And they have a table here if you want to look at it. 1700-hour report says after the strong peak at power 57 between 8 and 9, the activity completely and suddenly subsided, returning to a calm state. So again, we've got like 4 pillars of light and it reached 57. Now, I do want to mention something about March 12th, by the way. Today is the day that my mother was born, my birth mother. Today is the day that I turned Muslim. Today is the day that my mother died. Today's the day my mother got married, one of her marriages. She really liked March 12th. It was a very favorite day for her. I never told her I converted to Islam, and I converted to Islam in 2012. Right before we all supposedly hopped onto a new planet and didn't know. According to some theories of the Mandela effect. So 8 years ago today, I said my Shahada, and I converted to Islam because I felt that after I had read the Quran, I liked what it had to say. I met a Sayyid, God bless him. He is a direct descendant of the great Prophet Muhammad. Praise and blessings be upon his name. So I thought that was pretty cool. It just so happened to be on my mom's birthday. I could never tell her. It would have broke her heart. She was a Christian. But when I read during that year, when I read the Quran, it did say that God loves everybody equally, regardless of whether they have a religion or not, and whether they are religious or not, and even those people who are atheist are loved by God equally. Everybody is loved. And it had such an all-inclusive, loving energy to the words that I felt drawn to it, and I kind of felt like it's the three in one religion. And I loved that. I loved it because it talks about all of the things that were right and correct in Judaism and all the things that were right and correct in Christianity. And it does not deny that Jesus exists. It does not deny Mother Mary. In fact, there's a whole chapter about her. So I felt particularly close to it. And I met a lot of people from Saudi Arabia that I just loved them. They became my brothers. And then I saw a documentary. National Geographic had a documentary that might still be on it. I don't know if it is or not, but it was on Netflix, and I watched it, and it said that only people who are Muslim can visit the Kaaba Allah, the house of God. Now, if you're Jewish, you know that as the Kabbalah, Kaaba Allah, Kabbalah. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. And I have studied some Hebrew words and letters and numbers, and I've studied all that in mystery schools. And now, then I went towards Islam because there's more mystery to be unraveled and to learn. So, but when I heard that only Muslims can go and touch the first house ever built on this planet meant to worship God, I cried. I'm like, I want to go there. I want to go there. Abraham and his son were walking through the desert one day, and they saw this wild building, completely square, cube of space, transformational cube. This is what in the Holy Tarot, what the king is sitting on, a cube. The Philosopher's Stone, the Sorcerer's Stone, if you've read Harry Potter. It's magical. It's beyond religion. So I wanted to have the ability to go. I haven't gone yet. And actually, because of coronavirus, the whole country shut down, and nobody is there right now. No one is praying, and no one is going around the first house meant to give praises and love to God. It's crazy. I mean, everything is shut down. This virus has shut the whole damn planet down. Something we can't even, it's a no-see-um. It's something we can't even see, and it shut down the whole works. It shut down the works. It's like a gremlin. What is up with this virus? 7% have died now, and it's gone up again, so there's that. I don't want you guys to get into the fear-mongering. I want you to love yourself and love each other, and if it's your time, it's your time, and if it's not, it's not. There's a 93% chance it's not gonna hurt you. I mean, you'll have a crappy 2 weeks, and then it'll be over. And it is like pneumonia, so it isn't just the common cold, which I thought before. After I've done my research, I realized it's like pneumonia. A lot worse than the common cold, a lot worse than the flu. It's 10 times worse than a flu, they say. So you know what, you guys, if you can, go out and get all of the typical stuff you need. Get your anti-diarrhea medicine, get your anti-cough medicine, get your Vicks Vapor Rub on. You're going to need that. Get an extra bottle. Put on the bottom of your feet. If you get sick, you get congested, put it on the bottom of your feet, put your socks on. I'm not saying it's going to cure the virus. I'm going to say that it will, though, take out some congestion in your body. It can alleviate the symptoms, and that might make all the difference in the world. Have hot tea. Get lemon juice. Get the reconstituted lemon juice in the bottle. If you're not in a place where there are fresh lemons, get a couple bottles of lemon juice. Do everything in your power to be prepared. Get some colloidal silver right now. Go to the store. Get the colloidal silver. That kills germs. Get your whiskey on if you're not an alcoholic. You can take 1 shot a day, not more. You don't want to lower your immune system. You want to brace it up. Whiskey will do that. If you get sick, 1 shot a day, no more. Little shots, too. I don't want you guys saying, well, I couldn't function because shot I took was too big. But just, self-regulate, self-quarantine, Send please love and light to Jude DeKoff, the founder of the Starseed Perspective podcast. He is my near twin flame, and he is very sick. He has been on steroids for a while. He's been sick for weeks. I've been sick for weeks without being sick, which is weird. Maybe I'm taking some of his symptoms on. I don't know. You know, I feel like I've been going through this illness without being ill. I had a 0.3 fever, 0.3 more than normal the other day, but I think it's subsided back down to normal again. And I'm on prednisone too because I couldn't breathe either. It's weird. Really weird. It was like out of nowhere. Just now I can't breathe. Now I'm on the prednisone. Oh my God. I've been doing the Wim Hof method of breathing. I haven't been taking ice cold showers every day because it's been very cold out. And I've been kind of leery about doing that, especially while being on prednisone. But I'm on prednisone too. And what that does when you're on it, knocks out your immune system. You don't have an immune system. You have no defenses. But it takes out all the inflammation so that you can breathe. It takes the symptoms away. So I'm worried. I've been worried. And Jude is worried too. So please send love and light. He lives in Florida. People are getting coronavirus left and right in Florida. People come from other places, go to Florida, come back after 2 days, and now they've got it. And they're like, oh my God. There's not enough test kits. There's probably more people that have it than we know. But keep your wits about you. Keep your joy and your beauty and your love about you. Know that you're going to be okay. Your soul can never, ever get sick. Your soul can never, ever die. Your body, on the other hand, can, but you're still going to be okay no matter what. So don't give in to the emotional fear. That's what CNN, constantly negative news, will have you do. Give in to the fear. Quick, everyone panic, run about, shout, fight over toilet paper. I'm going to tell you guys a secret right now. This is a weird Muslim secret. You don't have to do this if you don't. I don't always, I do use toilet paper, but I have been in places where I didn't have toilet paper. And you know what? Just, you get a water bottle, you fill it with water, use soap, and you clean your body. You're in a bathroom in a room with a shower. There's ways to clean your body that don't involve toilet paper, so don't panic over toilet paper. It's just like, I don't know if you guys saw those crazy ladies. I think they're in Australia or something. They're fighting over toilet paper. I'm like, what? It's like, oh my God, between the 3 women, they had 2 brain cells to rub together. And it's like, just wipe your body with, water, washcloth, baby wipes work as well. It's not like your water's being turned off in your house, And it's not like anyone's going to run out of toilet paper. There's no shortage. There's no shortage of toilet paper. I don't know if people are going really crazy, man. I'm just like, woo. In here, people are all like, todo es tranquilo. No hay un problema. Everyone just says everything is tranquil. Everything is peaceful here, man. There's not a problem. That's how people are here. It's not a problem. Like downtown, for a few days, they had a loudspeaker on telling people how to protect themselves from the virus in case it comes to Cuenca. Thank you, God, we don't have it here yet. But, they're putting hand sanitizer on all their buses, and one of the airlines shut down. They said, screw this shit. We're not getting the coronavirus. We're not going to be responsible for this. TSA agents in the U.S., 3 of them have coronavirus. Imagine all the people's stuff, all the bags they went through. Oh my God. Unbelievable. New York State has started to make its own hand sanitizer and hand it out. And the mayor of New York City was talking about it and trying to sell the people on it. Everyone wants hand sanitizer. Sorry. You don't have to pitch it so much. Just, we all want it. We all want to be safe, right? People are going crazy. Look how much it's changed the world in just a short matter of time. And what's really funny about it is, weren't we saying last year that the money system's going to break down? We don't know when or how. Is this how? I don't know. All right. Heartmath.org. This is the other place I go to look up Schumann Resonance news, because, the disclosurenews.it is not a very accurate. It can't account, that one number cannot account for the entire world. It is not a collection of all the numbers around the world put into one. Not by a long shot. It's only one number. So when people go, oh my God, I felt it's 57. Honey, what you felt was the 791 from Hulului 2 days ago. That's what you were feeling. If that's what we feel, that's the one you were feeling. There's more to it. There's more to the story, and I've been saying it all along. All right, California started off at midnight at 67 hertz frequency. By 4 a.m., they were at 58 hertz frequency. And Hafuf, Saudi Arabia, they're just zero all the way across the board. They have not come up off that mat at all. They're down for the count right now. We'll see where they head in the next couple weeks. Lithuania started off at midnight at 101 hertz frequency. By 4 a.m., they were at 104 hertz frequency. Alberta, Canada started off at 7, so just a little bit, almost a point lower than normal. 7 hertz frequency at midnight, and went down to 0 by 4 a.m., so that's unusual. Northland, New Zealand started off at 41 hertz frequency at midnight, and by 4 a.m., they were at 42 hertz frequency. And last but not least, Hulului, our favorite friend who's been way the hell up there lately. On Wednesday, they were at 591 hertz frequency. But guess what? This is another weird one. Hulului, South Africa, they were at 109 hertz frequency on the Schumann Resonance scale at midnight, and by 5 a.m. or 4 a.m., they were at 0. They're back down to 0. How freaking weird is that? So by 4 a.m., the highest number on the Schumann Resonance scale was in Lithuania with the 104. And then 58 and 42, and 3 places were zeroed out completely. Stuff is weird. Can't make this up. All right, let's go to some high vibrational teachings from A Course in Miracles right now. The Foundation for Inner Peace can be found at acim.org. You can also go do the lessons on your own for self-study, absolutely free. There's a bunch of apps. Just go check your phone store, whether it's at your iStore or your e-store. Your eyesore. No, not your eyes. No eyesores. Don't touch your face. All right. acim.org. We are on lesson 253 today. 253 is this. Myself is ruler of the universe. Let me do that again. Myself is ruler of the universe. Myself is ruler of the universe. It is impossible that anything should come to me unbidden by myself. Even in this world, it is I who rule my destiny. What happens is what I desire. What does not occur is what I do not want to happen. This must I accept. For thus am I led past this world to my creations, children of my will. In heaven where my holy self abides with them, and him who has created me. I like that. Creations, children of my will. My creations are children of my will. That doesn't mean necessarily actual children. It could be your things, your children that created from your will, your art, your music, your joy, your writing, your hip-hop, your stand-up, your stand-out, however you stand out among your people. Anyway, we'll continue the lesson. You are the self whom you created, Son, creating like yourself and one with you. Myself, which rules the universe, is but your will. in perfect union with my own, which can but offer glad assent to yours, that it may be extended to itself. Myself is ruler of the universe. All right, guys, you might want to go and check that one out and read it again and again, because it's written in a very, it's written in a strange way, but it's very, very deep. You got to keep reading it. I'm going to read it now a couple times to myself when I take a break. I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, guys, I am going to talk about witchcraft. Haven't done a witchcraft episode in a while. We're going to talk about magic and self-protection right after this message. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. All right, guys, so I'm just going to go over some ways that I protect myself on a day-to-day basis using magic. Basically, I don't know, magic's always been a part of my life, especially my adult life since I started looking into it, but a lot of the stuff I found in books wasn't really like, it just felt weird and contrived to me. A lot of the stuff I found in books were like, do this, do that, stand here, do this ritual, have an altar just like this. This is the diagram. And it kind of, you know, even though it was slightly helpful, it just kind of felt like, well, if I can't do my own thing with it, then maybe I don't want to do it. You know, like if I, you know, the reason I didn't want to be in religion is because the religions tell you what to do, generally speaking, and there's always someone in charge, and, you know, it's just a whole thing. Well, our church doesn't believe that because the head of our church says not to believe that, and, you know, they're the ones handing down the rules. I mean, I've heard stuff like that my whole life. It's crazy. There's one reason I liked Islam. There is no central church. There's no head anything. You know, all the mosques crop up because people want to be together and pray together. And it's only 1 hour every Friday. And women are not, they don't have to go. I like it, you know. It's a Friday afternoon, bada boom, bada bing, got your weekend free. That's not why I became a Muslim. I'm kidding. But, you know, but like a lot of people that are magical folk are Wiccan as a religion. And that's not me. I am not a Wiccan. I am not a witch like that. I found out last year when I was beginning this show that basically I don't even know, honestly, because I'm not 100% clear on all of it yet. I don't know if it was my ancestors that started to call me. although that has recently started to happen. But I had all of these flash, bang, boom insights and discovered I am a lineage witch, or a hereditary witch, but it skipped several generations because my parents and their parents were Christians and squashed the witchy poo part of us out. And I have been trying to reconcile some of the things that I've always known, things, gifts, and natural things have happened to me that have nothing to do with any of the people around me. It's been kind of crazy. Like, what do you mean you didn't hear that person's thought? It was so loud. Or why, what do you mean you don't understand what that chipmunk wants? How come you can't hear the crow, Mom? I don't get it. It's talking. It's so loud. It wakes me up every morning and gives me instructions. It's like a school. He's my grandfather, my grandpa Crow. And my mom's just like, it's just a dirty old blackbird. And she'd chase it away with a broom. She'd scream, shoo, shoo. It's like, no, it's like this massive, it was like actually a raven. It was really huge raven, and it would knock on my window every morning. And through telepathy would talk to me. And it's like I didn't get why no one else mind talked. Why are we not all talking like that? And then I grew up and I still could do telepathy, and I wasn't really, I never lost that ability, but I didn't do it with people because no one else could do it. And then when my oldest kid was born, same thing. Again, she's like so angry at me. I'm mind talking to you, Mom. Why can't you hear me? And I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot that I could mind talk. And yeah, of course we can. It's like I've never had another human that could do this with me. She had a friend and they would mind talk. They would put words, or they would sing songs or talk to each other, and they put it in an energy bubble, and they would blow on it gently and blow it to each other, and they could see it. They literally could see it. The next door neighbor kid and my kid, and they were just like playing with these energy bubbles all day long. They could see it. Every now and again in our yard, we would see the fairies come in another kind of energy bubble. We lived in a place with a lot of vortexes or portals or energy. I don't know what, but it was a pretty incredible place up in the northern California mountains. And so then my daughter and I tried to mind talk to each other. We couldn't quite sync up that way, but sometimes my youngest and I have a very strong link. Actually, I still kind of have a strong link with my oldest, but my youngest and I, like, he'll show up and go, okay, so I was at my friend's house and I heard you calling me. And his friend's house is like miles away from here. But he'll, if he doesn't have his phone, I tell him, and he hears me, and he'll just come home. What do you need? What do you want? It's like, well, I was worried about you. Your phone's right here. I can't write you. I don't know where you were. And it's like, it's been like that with him and I since the day he could walk. So some of the gifts that I have are, I know they're hereditary, they're lineage. And if you guys have these gifts too, it might be just that your parents and grandparents, maybe 2 or 3 generations back, have forgotten that we're all witches, right? We all are magical creatures. We are magic beings. Jesus himself is a magic being. And so it drives me crazy when all these people go, ooh, magic is evil. Really? Then you're calling Jesus evil. He turned water into wine. That's magic. He raised the dead. That's necromancy. Magic. Go back into some of the old ancient texts about him, and he used a wand to perform his magic. Moses was a magician. King Solomon was a magician. King Solomon was a relative of Jesus. That's linear, hereditary witchcraft. healing, sending energy. And then in the end, he did ascension magic. That's what we're all doing now. We're all in this process of trying to do ascension magic and ascending, right? You don't have to call it magic if it makes you uncomfortable, but that's what it is. That's who he was, and that's what a lot of us are. We have it. We have it in our blood. My youngest, when he gets angry, has shattered glasses and bowls, even a plastic straw once, with his mind. Didn't do it on purpose. He couldn't control it. It just happened. I've seen a glass shatter from the ground upward and spray into people's faces like a tempered glass. Starbucks. It was a cold floor. It was a cold Starbucks glass. It wasn't anything to do with temperature. My son got mad because we weren't going home. We were waiting in the waiting room. And I needed to get a treatment for asthma. And I was in the emergency room. And they made me wait for 2 hours with an asthma attack. And no medicine and no insurance to speak of. And he was angry. I was angry too. We were all kind of on edge. We wanted to be home and resting and hadn't had dinner yet. And he got very angry, and he got so angry that the glass shattered from the floor and it flew up and it hit 4 people. I mean, this woman is picking bits and pieces of this tempered Starbucks glass container out of her, picking it out of her hair, her purse. It was embedded in her clothes. Embedded. Like, no one touched it. It was next to my feet. But it was his mind, and I've seen him do this like 3 or 4 times. I told him, we got to go out in a field somewhere and actually focus his power. We haven't tried it yet. But it's one of those things where it's like when it happens, you're just so shocked. And you almost don't want to claim it because it's like, what the hell? This is too crazy. It's like a TV show. It's like a movie. But there's a reason why the TV shows and the movies are out there. There's a reason why so many stories of magic exist, even if they're fiction. It's because it's real. And it comes from something. I hate to say it, but humans aren't all that imaginative. It's always based on something. It doesn't happen the way that it happens in the TV and the movies, because we all wish. I mean, I wish I could run, like just touch my nose and dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, all of a sudden, ding, the whole house is sparkling fresh, clean. Took 1 second. I'd love to use magic to do that. But I'm a hereditary witch. And this is not my first life that I've been a witch. In fact, this is the first life I've been aware of being a witch throughout my soul's journey, as well as my lineage journey. And yet my magical power is not as powerful as it has been in past lives. I've been burned at the stake a couple times for witchcraft. So I'm still learning about my past and how do I get that power back. And I'm like putting seeds into the past, like trying to move through those optic fiber cable lines of energy, like Michael Sherahan was saying last night. So I'm working on it. So what I'm going to tell you guys today, I started to look up stuff and I thought, I'm not going to look up other people's stuff. I'm going to tell you what I do, because it just comes naturally. A lot of the stuff just comes naturally. But a lot of the stuff, it comes from books I read, and then I adapted my own stuff. Over the years, I've adapted my own stuff, because everybody, in the end, you got to adapt it to your own needs and your own self, right? You have to see what you want to work with, It's like if you work with, we'll start with animal protection. I didn't even write this one down. I wrote a bunch down of notes, and I'm not going to go by them. Animal protection. You can have a familiar, or you could just work with animals in general. You don't have to make specifically one animal familiar. But if you have a cat, who seems very spiritually aware for a cat, some are just cats. Some are Lyrans in disguise. Some of them are like the ET cats. The black cats, I think, are Lyrans. I walked up to a black cat in Lima, and I said, I know you're from another planet, and I'll always be here if you want to talk about it. We can telepath together. We could be friends. I'm not going to tell anybody, but I know you're not really a cat, and I know you're not really, unaware. That cat looked at me so scared. He kind of sat up and kind of looked at me. I know who you are, but I'm not going to tell anyone. And he was just like so freaked out. I don't think I saw him for days after that. He was always afraid of me after that. Like, holy crap, my cover was blown. Seriously, go say that to a cat once. See how they act. It's freaking weird. It's like they know exactly what you're saying, and like what you're saying is actually true. I've seen too many cat councils in the middle of the night to know that there's something going on with the cats. They're not normal. They're not normal, earthly animals. There's something weird and eerie about cats. But if you find one that's magically inclined and one that's spiritually aware for a cat, or dogs too, and I even had a pet wolf. You can have whatever kind of animal, you've seen Harry Potter, the whole idea of a familiar being a rat or a snake or whatever, bat, owl, whatever. You can do that. But if you have an animal, you can just ask the animal to always let you know when there's danger, to alert you to the danger, and then the animal will. I've had crows do that for me. Wild crows. I've had crows do that for me. So you can ask the animal kingdom. You can actually ask the deva, who is the overlighting energy, the fairy, if you will, of a region. And you can ask her to send any animals your way to alert you to any danger that will potentially be coming your way. Another way to work with animal magic is to ask Goddess Hecate, Goddess of the Crossroads, give her an offering in a crossroads, and ask her to always be with you. You can ask Goddess Hecate as well as Goddess Lilith. That was Adam's first wife. Go back to the Talmud, because it wasn't Adam and Eve in the beginning, it was Adam and Lilith. And Lilith will help you in a heartbeat. She's very close to our world. Her dimension is very close, and she'll be here in a heartbeat. She'll send dogs. Goddess Hecate will send dogs. Now, I've seen black dogs come and be my protection, and I've seen white dogs when I've asked either one of these goddesses to help. Someone's coming your way and they're like menacing and you're scared, just ask. And even if you don't see anything, they will see dogs around you and they will be afraid to go near you. And my son and I, we've left gifts for Goddess Hecate in the crossroads here, and we've always been protected. I've had just dogs that would tear anyone up if they get out of their yard, just walk up to me and lick my hand. And I've had dogs like run after me like they're going to be after me, and then I turn around and I look them in the eye, and they're like, "Oh, it's you, cool, yeah, all right," and they just sit down and look at me like, "Oh, I'm sorry, dude." You will also be protected from dogs attacking you with Goddess Hecate and Goddess Lilith. If you're afraid and it's the thing that happens, you might need to make amends for something that happened to you in your past. My youngest had an issue with dogs for a while. They were attacking him every day we went to when we lived in Guatemala. Every day, dogs attacked him, and we were like, at first it was like hilarious. It was like, what the hell's happening? The rest of us love dogs. Dogs love us, and what's wrong? And then I looked into one of his past lives and his Akashic records, and I said, oh, you have something to heal. So I helped him heal through that. And after that, he always had dog protector friends, and they were always with him, because the dogs are loyal to you unless they don't trust you. And if they don't trust you, you have to heal something, and then they'll trust you. And after that, you always have protectors. I mean, I went to places in Guatemala that I had a faithful, loyal dog at my side at all times. Never wanted for anything, never asked for food, never begged for anything, just, I am your protector while you are here. So I have a lot of love for the dog people. I respect the hell out of these creatures. So, all right. So that's one form of protection, animals. Also the devas, asking the fairies, the fae folk, to come and be with you. And if you invite fays into your life, you're going to, for me, I have a lot more fun, but it's a lot more chaotic. I love it. I love having my fays with me. I have my duende. You can go see a picture of Ariana, my duende. She's on my at Mermaid Girl 888 on my Instagram feed. She's probably like 15 pictures down now. She's so cute. Her little purple hat. She's actually my son's duende, but she wanted to hang out with me in my room. And we have her sitting on top of a big pile of money because she loves money. It fascinates her because it's something that we hold valuable, and she wants to always know why, But, and she plays with us. She'll like tie stuff in knots, and she'll do things to irritate us. Sometimes she'll make things disappear, and then they'll reappear like a day or two later. It's kind of funny, but also, like I said, chaotic. So you can work with the fae if you feel called to do so. You can work with the flower fairies. They're very sweet, very loving individuals. You can work with crystals and rocks and minerals, and then that would be like the gnomes. So you can work with the fairies that come along with those things, or not. You don't always have to work with fairies directly. If you want to work with them and you want to open up a portal, just remember, say Willowish Tuatha Sadig Shigar Malith. Willowish Tuatha Sadig Shigar Malith. Every time you say that, a portal opens up and the fairies pour out. And you can invite them into your world that way. I do believe in fairies. I do. So that's, you can ask them to guard against fires in your home. You can ask the spirit and elements of fire to, you give them love and respect, and ask them to always protect your home from fire breaking out. You can ask water spirits to protect your house. You got to make sure they know not to flood your home. I had a whole vortex open up in the basement of my house where I had literally like a round flood going around in a freaking circle and draining out my floor for like 5 days in Detroit. My pipe broke. Thank God on the side of the city, not on my side, because I would have owed like tens of thousands of dollars in water bills, but it was on the city side, thank God. So I didn't owe that much. I didn't owe any, really, because they didn't have it it was like on the opposite side of the meter, thank God. I don't know why that happened. I haven't asked the water spirits there why they did it. I have a feeling that it was a protection, though, because we had a lot of ghosts. Well, we had one particular nasty-ass ghost that, she was horrible. She wouldn't let us sleep. She's always screaming at us, telling us to get out of her house. I'm like, this is our house. We bought it fair and square. You're dead. Go to the light. Now that I know what to do, I would just put her into the light and have a conversation with her. But she would throw stuff at me while I was in the laundry room in the basement. It was really crazy. But you can ask the spirits to, come, like the elemental spirits, to come and help you with things like this. But they're not as reliable as angels, and angel magic is one of my favorite types of magic in the world. The easiest way to have protection in all things. If you want protection in your health, you ask Archangel Raphael. If you want protection in your creation and your ideas, ask Archangel Uriel. If you're like a writer and you're doing like a school and you want to protect your mind and you want to protect your, like guard your thoughts against evil, and you want to guard your thoughts against negativity, Archangel Gabriel can work for that, or Uriel and Gabriel are working with like inspiration and, stuff to do with the mind more. Archangel Michael, he is my most favorite. He is my protector. Well, Archangel Raphael, Michael, I work with the most often, even though I love all the angels, of course. But Archangel Michael is your big-time protector. If you pray to him while you're walking down the street at night, there was a story of a lady, she was walking down the street at night, and she was scared. She saw these really scary looking dudes coming towards her. She was, in LA, her car broke down, and she started asking Archangel Michael to come and protect her. And immediately, these guys were like kind of menacing and, like they look like they're up to no good. They're going to do something bad. They came towards her, and then they both like walked really far away around her. And she walked to the police station, and about 20 minutes after she got there, these guys had been picked up for I think trying to rob somebody. And she was really amazed, like, wait a minute, I'm here, a vulnerable woman alone in the city, middle of the night, terrified as hell, can't defend myself, and y'all ignored me, walked around me, and then you went and robbed another lady, right? So she got brave, and she walked up and asked these guys, hey, so I have a weird question. Why didn't you rob me? And they're like, what? She's like, well, right after you saw me, you went and robbed this other woman, then you got caught. So you're here. So I want to ask you, what made you decide not to rob me? And they're like, because of the two big dudes you were walking with, we were afraid of those guys. And she was like, I was walking by myself, man. It's because she was Archangel Michael sent, I think it was him and another angel, or maybe duplicated himself, kind of projected the image that she's with two huge dudes that you don't want to mess with. So that is one of the best ways for magical protection. Ask Archangel Michael every day. You can look up prayers, or you can make up your own every day before you leave the house. Say the prayer. Put it on a piece of paper and put it on the back of your door. Look at it. Make sure you say it every day. Whatever the prayer is. Doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be from your religion. It could be just like a silent thought between you and your higher self, between you and Archangel Michael, between you and God, between you and whoever that you feel is protecting you. Now, I don't recommend working with a lot of like jinn, for example, unless you know what you're doing. If you're not well versed in that, don't get into it, because there's caveats everywhere. Same thing with the fairy folk. If you're not used to it, you could work with dragons. You could get a magical protection dragon. You could just ask and they'll come, or you could go to eBay and look up haunted vessel dragon and just start looking at the descriptions if you feel like you're up for something like that. Again, if you're brand new to magical world, I would say don't even try. Just because it can be daunting, a little scary, a little bit intimidating, until you're really comfortable. But I have dragons. I have like a whole bunch of dragons around me. They're around me right now. I love them so much. I can't see them. I wish I could see them, but I feel them and I love them, and I know that they keep me safe and protected. And I have jinn in my life as well, and I love them very much, and I've been working with them for years. And I've used the jinn to protect the environment. I've used, not just me and my family in my home, but like literally the environment, like the city where I lived in. I've stopped planes from spraying crap in the air, and I've stopped the people from doing the vector control of the mosquitoes, which kills all the butterflies and wrecks it. It wrecks the whole ecology of a place. So I have used them for things like that, protection of the environment. So amulets. This is a fun one. I mean, you don't have to go buy one that someone made. You can, but it's better to trust yourself and trust your own magic. Because even if you don't come from a lineage family, you are magical. Your soul is magical. look at how we're made. We're created, this world, the whole thing, the matrix, the whole dimensional thing. This whole thing is freaking magic. You're living in a magical grid. So you can pick any piece of jewelry that you like, get something nice, and you can put a magical protection spell on it that you create yourself. Just put all the elements in it: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, otherwise known as heart. Put your love and your emotions into it. So just make sure, like a drop of water, and pass it through some fire. Smoke is air. Breathing on it is air. Putting intention into it. And that's it. So you can use, I use rings. I have some rings that are like protecting me in friendships or relationships. Like if I get involved with somebody, that there will be integrity in the relationship. I have some rings that will just protect me on safe travels. I've had jewelry in the past that protect me from gain illnesses, protect me with all my health, feel very healthy, protect me from harm, repel. You can make jewelry that will repel lower vibrational people. That's my favorite. You can even do this with a t-shirt. You don't have to. In fact, you could cast a spell on your clothes that you put on that day. It might not last very long because energy is held more often and for a longer period of time in metal and in stones. But you could cast a t-shirt spell. Why not? Or a hat spell, or a purse, or a backpack spell. There's no law says you can't do that. You can put an amulet on your backpack so that it won't get stolen, and so that you'll never forget it or leave it behind. And so these are the kinds of things that I do. I mean, I always put my rings. It's like I put on my jewelry, and it's like shield 1, it's on. Shield 2, it's on. Let's put on the necklace. There. Now my aura is protected. I'm protected from people who have low vibrations. So, there are a lot of people that believe in magical symbols for protection. And something that was said on Why So Serious 24D the other day, I wasn't sure about what she said, but I would be leery of all symbols right now, because when she said it, it upset me, but I've been thinking about it, and she's got a point. The cabal, the people, and people in charge, or trying to be in charge of us, failing miserably, but they're trying to get a hold of us, magically and otherwise, and they can take energy from you, suck your energy away from you through typical symbols that are of protection, because they are doing evil spells to cast a spell on all these things to take from the good new agey people who just want to be protected. And she said that she saw that there's a lot of people doing this kind of thing at this time because they don't want us to ascend. We're going to leave them behind, guys. They're jealous. They don't want to do the work spiritually, and they don't want to wake up spiritually, and they just want to hold us hostage to their negative crap. If they did the work and they could come with us, it'd be fun, but they just don't want to do that. So I don't recommend at this time even dealing with the protective hands or eyes, or there's a lot of symbols out there, to help ward off evil or whatever. I would say at this time, don't even deal with that. Make your own symbol that is only your own, and it's fresh, and the cabal doesn't know it because they've never seen it, because you just made it up out of your own mind. Ask God to give you the symbol in the clouds, or in another way. You might see it on a t-shirt or on the ground, or in a rock you find. You just don't know what symbol. It might be light language symbol that just comes and pops into your head one day. Maybe you could do an automatic writing. Ask God to guide your hand. And then that's a symbol. You could draw it on the back of your hand, or you could put it on a piece of paper. And you could draw 3 circles around it if that makes you feel better. You could fold it in half or in fours and draw a pentagram on it, which is just a 5-sided star, which means earth, air, water, fire, and heart or spirit. And you put a circle around that to protect all of your elements. Put that in your purse or your billfold or your wallet or backpack or whatever, even in the bottom of your shoe or inside your sock. Put one underneath each foot. Keep you protected and safe. If that's what you are drawn to, that's what you need to do. Some people put, like, guys that wear like a baseball hat, they'll put a cast a spell on the baseball hat, and every time they put it on, it's like a shield of protection. A lot of men wear hats and they feel protected energetically, and they might not even know that they're a lineage witch. They might not even know that they're casting a spell of protection over themselves. I know a lot of men do that. And a lot of men don't even know that they do that, but I know people do this for sure. If you're a woman and you want to wear barrettes or like a little hair clip, you might have a little tiny hair clip or something, or your piece of jewelry doesn't have to be a ring or a necklace, but you could do earrings, lip ring, nose ring, whatever, whatever kind of jewelry you want. So cleanse your aura every day. This is what is the best way to keep yourself protected. I would say this is how you make a magical spray. Get some crystals and purify them by running them under water, running them through some smoke, maybe fire and smoke, like incense. You could burn sage, sweetgrass, cedar, those kinds of things. You can burn these around your house and cleanse energy. You can cleanse your own aura that way, or you can energetically do it. I do all of my magic with energy. I'm an energy shaman. So that's what I do. So I just imagine white light coming over me and just going through my aura and cleansing it, going through my chakras and cleansing me, going through my mental body, my emotional body, my spirit body, just cleansing constantly. You can do this, and also you can imagine there's chakras in the bottom of your feet, which there are, and every time you step, you leave behind you a big, big white pillar of light, and that's your protection as well. That's another energy protection, energy magic. So keep your energy field clean. One of the ways you could do it is with this water. So you take, whatever crystal that is corresponding to the thing that you need, protection from, protection of your heart, of your emotions. That would be like a rose quartz or a amethyst. Spiritual protection is amethyst as well. Obsidian is protection against evil spirits. So whatever it is, you've got to look it up in a crystal book or something that does magical correspondences. But take a crystal and make sure it's not malachite, by the way, because that is a poisonous rock. So, a quartz crystal is best. Make sure before you do anything to it. But what you do is you take your favorite essential oil. Also can be magical protection. If you need money protection, bergamot. Bergamot is that's the shit, man. I love it. It's like a nice citrusy. But just pick your essential oil, put it in a little teeny tiny, maybe like a tablespoon of vodka, put in your 10 drops, put that in the bottom of a spray bottle, fill the rest up with spring water, and put your crystal in. If you want to put some herbs in for protection, you can do that as well. And then chant over it, or pray over it, or put your energy, your love, your protection, your intention into it. Whatever kind of protection you're looking for. Spray that around your house. Spray it over your body. Spray it onto your face. Just spray it onto your pillow at night. Whatever kind of protection. You want to keep your dreams protected. You want to keep your sacred space protected while you slumber. You can do a sleep spray. You can do a magical protection spray for when you leave the house. I have, in the past, I've had a lot of sprays. And you could just go buy like orange sprays that they're already pre-done as well, and just you could pop in your crystal in the bottle, or put it on a bed of crystals to keep the high vibration there. And I mean, anytime you're angry or upset or just ruminating on the past, just spritz that. Just spritz your face with it, and it's so refreshing and smells amazing. You feel great, and it breaks up the energy. You can also connect with the water spirit inside the bottle and ask it to break up the energy and dissipate the negativity around you. You can also, especially if you're an air elemental person, I would say grab your favorite incense and go through your house, and also put it over your body and permeate your clothes with the scent of the smoke. That's your protection. Can be very, very powerful. Salt on your windowsills, salt in your doorways, your door jambs. That's going to keep the negativity out and evil spirits out. Use the feng shui mirrors you can get at any Chinese store or specialty shop for feng shui. You could even order them online. They're like called bagua mirrors. And you have the convex and the concave ones, the ones that push out energy. If you have negative energy coming from your neighbors, you get the ones that push it back to them. And then there's ones that are concave. They'll pull in beautiful, loving, wonderful energy. If your windows or your doors are overlooking a beautiful field, you have the ones that pull in that gorgeous energy. You want that protection of nature. Ask Mother Nature, ask Mother Earth Gaia herself. Work with the spiritual elements for protection. Now, if you want, you could also ask God, by the way. Now, if I say work with angels, I don't want you to go towards Solomon's stuff where he controlled angels. Controlling elementals, controlling angels are always a bad idea. No one wants to be controlled. We all know it now. Hey, I know that now, but over 2,000 years ago, he didn't know it, So he controlled demons, he controlled angels. It's possible. If you get magically really intense, magically, you can do it. There was, in fact, on my feed, on my Instagram, you could go see pictures of the scariest church I've ever been to. It's a Catholic church, but it was built by the devil in one night in Quito, and it's evil as frick. I mean, holy crap. You can see the pictures, it'll give you the chills. It's creepy as hell. Literally the church built by the devil, and I did a show on it last year. And this devil was going to take his soul when it was done, but it was never done because he left one part of the church missing. So it will never be done. And because it'll never be done, the devil will never have a soul. So instead, there's evil demons all frickin' over that place. I couldn't see them, but I felt them. And I felt them attacking me when I left the church. And I was like, dude, I have nothing to do with this church. You know what I mean? Like, just leave me the hell alone. And I was like defending myself against demons for like an hour or two after. It was like deflect. Sending love to your enemies is the best way to conquer them. Especially if you have those kinds of enemies. If you have demons after you, low-level devils, negative energy entities and thought forms, little boll weevils of energy, you just send them love. You don't have to defend. If you defend yourself, you are attacked. Remember, A Course in Miracles. So you just send them love. Dream magic. Seriously, just get a dream catcher. They work. In fact, I had one, and I've got to pick it up. I have one with the spider on it that my friend made. He made it before he met me, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And he's like, oh, you're the one I made it for. Yeah, it does, matches your aura. And I'm like, oh my god. Gotta love people in Bogota. Rolos. Bogoteños. They're very open to magic. They're very open to spiritual stuff. And my friend he made it, but it does work. And it's like all my dreams are gone. Like negative dreams. Like I have still had some negative dreams, and now that it's fallen behind, I've had a few more. So I do know it definitely works. Get a dream catcher. Put your own magical spin on it. Put it through your own smoke, your own incense. Spray your own spray onto it. Put your own energy into it. However you work with your elements is okay. You don't have to do all of these. You pick and choose the ones you want. You could do crystal magic. You could do crystal grids for protection. You could put them underneath your bed or on the four corners of your bed. Or Jude Dikoff, he talks about extensively in the Starseed Perspective. He talks about how to do energy grids. And his grids he just does like a tabletop grid. Very small little thing. And for me, and I think huge, massive crystals, one at every corner of my place. That's what I think of a grid. And he thinks of his little tiny crystals together on an energy grid, like with maybe like a flower of life, or even a Sri Yantra would work, or something you draw yourself. You could draw your own magical protection spells and seal each door and say, with your words, because by your logos it is made true. With your word, it comes into your reality. You are a spark of God. God created this world with his breath and his word. You create your reality with your words every day. When you say, I am, whatever you follow it up with, that's your protection. I am protected. I am safe. I am whole. I am healthy. I am loved. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am clear of the past. I am free from other people's bullshit. Whatever you say after the words I am, if you talk about yourself bad, you just blasphemed. Because I am is the name of God in the Bible. And I said that, and I look up and there's a bunch of white lights above my head. I know that to be true. The best protection you have is God. God's always got your back, and don't imagine that you're being attacked. That if you defend yourself, you're attacked. So just send love, 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 love. Some of the best magic I've ever done in my life is sun magic. You stand in the sunlight. You imagine it pouring in through your all your chakras down through your crown all the way down into the ground, and it just pours all your stuff that you don't need anymore. Just pours it into the ground where it's instantly healed, transformed. Stand with your face beaming in the sun and allow that sun energy to penetrate you. Ask it. Ask Grandfather Sun to protect you. And give you an aura of protection, and increase your aura and make it golden light, golden sunlight energy. Pull it into your heart and then disperse it throughout your body in every direction, until suddenly in 30 feet in every direction, 300 feet in every direction, 30 miles in every direction, up, down, top, bottom, every direction. The sun energy is penetrating. It's going through you and it's protecting you. And it's giving you a massive radius of protection as well. I love sun magic. I love angel magic. I don't do moon magic. A lot of people do. A lot of Wiccans do. A lot of magical folk do. I love the moon. I talk to her. I have conversations with her. I don't worship the moon. I never really felt comfortable with that. I did for a while try it when I was very young, and it was just like, I felt weird. It didn't match me. But I'm a sun worshiper, man, even though I'm like pale as hell. When I was a kid, I used to go to the beach and I'd lay out in the sun. I'd slather myself with like 90 SPF, or whatever the top one was when I was a kid, 30 probably. But I would just lay there and love the sun. Love and love and love and love and love the sun. And I'd feel that the sun loves me back. Love is the greatest, most powerful force in the universe. It is the biggest point of protection that you could possibly have. So cleaning your house, clean up, clean up. I wrote clean up after 3 days. So that's the salt on the windowsills and the doorways. Every 3 days, switch that out. Make sure that you're not using the salt to disintegrate your windowsills. It does disintegrate wood. Be careful. But you can use black salt for protection. You can use regular salt for protection. You could go to a specialty shop and get black salt, or eBay is a good source for that. Or you can make it yourself. Look it up. You can make your own holy water. Look it up how to do that. Rose essential oil is a very high vibration to make holy water. You could consecrate your things with it. Just sprinkle water on it. Ask God to protect and bless everything as you go around sprinkling the holy water on stuff. Let's see here. Oh yeah, cleansing your spaces. Grab a broom, get a special magical broom, and clear out all the energy with the broom. Like literally sweep it away, open the window, sweep it out the damn window. Don't use your regular day-to-day daily dirt broom for this, but definitely get a separate broom. If you don't want to use a broom, you could get a towel, just kind of swing a towel around. There's floor washes if you want to do it. This is kind of fancy. There's floor washes that smell like orange blossom, which means good luck, which is another form of protection. You could just put that on there, so as you're swinging it around, you're literally putting the energy of good luck into your house, or whichever one you want. If you live in the United States, especially if you're in California, you might go to the there's like mercados. There's like there are like open air markets that usually sell a lot of stuff to people that speak Spanish. There's a lot of brujas, a lot of witches in the Spanish speaking community. And I didn't know enough about it back in the day, but when I was in like Van Nuys, boy, I saw some really cool stuff, like candles, magical candles. They have spells you can buy. There's witches that do tarot cards, and they'll light candles for you. And I have had people cast spells for me of protection before I knew what to do. If you feel like someone is really seriously messing with you, you get a real small black candle and a little get a little dish, put water in the dish, light the candle, and you sit, and the whole time you imagine that you are fully protected. And you stare at that candle for a whole 4 hours. I did this for 4 hours once. Didn't stop for 4 hours. And at the end, when the candle burns out in the water, you throw the candle out in your backyard, you bury it, and you throw the water out as well. And then you ask Divine to bless you. You know, if someone is really screwing with you, don't think about what they're doing. You just think about pushing them farther and farther and farther away. It repels negativity, so don't worry. It's not black magic. If that freaks you out, don't do it. Use a white candle to call angels to you. Burn a white candle. You could put one like a grid. You know, again, ask the fire elements not to hurt your house. And, you know, I live in a house that's made from mostly cement, so it's easy for me, you know, not to burn down the house. But be very, very careful with fire. Always, obviously. I think that's it. I tried to go as fast as I could. Yeah, sweep up your cobwebs, your floors, your air. Literally sweep the air with your magical broom, or with your. You can even do a like a bandana. You could get a wet bandana. You know, wring it out so it's not going to fling water everywhere. But ask the element of air and water with a bandana. You can take a feather. You know, or if you have a bunch of feathers, you could just go get a bag of turkey feathers and make like a wing, and you can use that as your air element to blow the incense smoke around your house. Do that in abalone shell, and you've got your water element. So that's earth. What is earth? Think the feather's air, and the abalone is water. Or it's also kind of earth, though, because it's an earthy thing. You could put dirt in the bottom of that. Or the incense itself is the earth. That's it. And then it's burning, which is fire. So it's all the elements. But put your love, put your heart into everything. Constantly visualize. Energy visualization is one of the best things you can do. It's easy. It's free. It's just a few minutes of your mind. And, you know, if you're a witch that moves around a lot, if you're a traveler, you're never going to worry about carrying your magical elements with you because it's your mind. You always have your wits about you, and therefore your magic is always with you as well. So, let's see. Call upon your spirit animals, your spirit guides, your spiritual guides that are human, your spirit animals that are obviously animals, to protect you as well. Call upon your higher self, your holy guardian angel. Everybody has one, and you might have more angels that protect you, but you have your main holy guardian angel that has been assigned to you since your soul was born, not since you were born in this life this time, but since the beginning back in the day, the dawning of your soul. So ask that angel to always be with you and guide you and protect you. Open up a dialogue with God and work on all your intuitional stuff, and you're going to pretty much be very, very well protected by all of these things. Just pick the ones that resonated with you and leave the rest. I'm looking at this. It's like, that's it. Spring water, with the vodka and the salt. Oh yeah, and put salt in it. And bless the salt first. Salt is a magical element that really does, it's a crystal, Egg magic. Draja Mikaharik has a book about egg magic. Highly recommend. Oh my God, one of the best books ever. Egg magic is also good for protection of a wide variety of things. So anyway, I hope this magical protection, these ideas help you. Ask the gods and the goddesses to be with you if you are so inclined. If you're not, don't worry about it. Ask Jesus if you're Christian. A lot of Christian witches out there, and Brother Yeshua, he's one of my number one people. He's one of my go-to guys. You could ask Paramahansa Yogananda to help you. It doesn't have to be magically inclined, in the way where you're drawing pentagrams on the ground. You don't have to do that. And right now it's a symbol, so maybe be careful of it, just because of what all of the other energies are trying to do right now. Keep your wits about you. Keep your air fresh and your heart light. Cut all ties to the past every day you possibly can, with the sprays, with your sage, with your, burning your incense, lighting, just try to sever your ties. Ask Archangel Michael to cover you with his invisible cloak. He'll keep you shielded. Ask him to surround you with that. He has like a dark blue coat or a cloak that will cover you, make you invisible to your potential enemies. Ask him to sever the ties between you and everybody else every night. People can't siphon your energy off. You're protected if you're not connected, energetically, cord-wise. I'm not saying don't have relationships, because we need each other, but just be very careful about the ways in which you utilize your energy and the ways that other people manipulate your energy. They might try to pull your energy because they don't feel strong themselves. So you need to help them to be strong. You give them love and light, but cut your energy from them. Ask God to protect them. So anyway, there you guys have it. That is our magical self-protection class for the day. I'll be back tomorrow with all unique original programming, just like always. Tomorrow will be, of course, about what is happening in the world. I want to make sure, yeah, that's right. And look at the date real quick. So, yeah, what's going on in the world tomorrow? Pretty much the news. The earth changes. Coronavirus changes. All the changes we're going to talk about tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get to some weird news, because I've been loving doing the weird news. It's kind of fun and funny and funky to think about on the weekends. Give you something to kind of wrap your mind around and laugh about. So there it is, guys. Another one done. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing with all your friends and family and your groups on Instagram as well as Facebook. I really, really appreciate the help. Mark your calendars, because starting in July, from July 1st through the whole month of July, you will have the opportunity, if you so are inclined to do so, you can go and vote for me in the People's Choice Awards, the podcast awards. I'll when we get towards June, I'm going to try to put a little blurb about how to do that, what website and everything, but just put it in the calendar now, your iCalendar, iPhone, your Google Calendar, whatever, mark it on a piece of paper, your actual physical calendar on the wall, if y'all still have one of those. Just so you know, just because I need to get the word out there so I could keep the show going and keep telling more people about more magical things so that we can all live a beautiful, wonderful, peaceful life and the life that we so richly deserve. So, all right. That's all I got to say about that, guys. I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.